Hello, my dear children. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Hope you are doing well. I welcome you all to the computer online class. Let's start our class now. Chapter 1, Operating Systems and Graphical User Interface. In the last class, we have seen about the basics of operating system, right? Yes, the need for an operating system, functions of an operating system, features, types of operating system, and examples of operating system, right? Can you please tell me some examples of operating system? Yes, Unix, Linux, Windows. So these are examples of operating systems. Can you say, please tell me some examples of OS that we use in our mobile phones? The familiar one, that is Android operating system, iOS, Windows Mobile, BlackBerry OS, right? In today's class, we will learn about user interface. In the last class, we have seen that operating system is the master control of a computer, right? Without an operating system, the computer will be useless, right? And one of the functions of an operating system is interface management. So an operating system controls the interaction of the computer with users and the other applications, right? So it helps the user to interact with the computer. The user interface or UI refers to the hardware-software mechanism by which a user and a computer interact with each other. So this operating system helps the user to interact with the computer with the help of the hardware-software mechanism called user interface. So today's class will see in detail about this user interface. Okay. So user interface is the visual part of the operating system, right? So you can visually see what happens in a computer by means of this user interface, okay? It is through user interface that a user gives a command or instruction to the computer and receives messages from the computer. So only with the help of user interface, you can give the instructions or command to the computer and you can receive the output message from the computer. If an operating system does not offer any user interface, the user cannot interact with the computer and this will render the computer useless for the user. So without the operating system or without user interface, you cannot make a computer hardware to be operational. Now let's see about the types of user interfaces. As we learned earlier, you know how many types of user interfaces are there? Two types, right? What are they? CUI and GUI. So what is CUI? Character User Interface, right? CUI stands for Character User Interface. And what is GUI? Graphical User Interface. So what are the two types of user interfaces? Character User Interface and Graphical User Interface. Okay. The first one is Character User Interface. CUI or Character User Interface. So in this type of interface, a keyboard is used for the user input and a monitor for the computer output. In this type of interface, only two devices can be used, the keyboard and the monitor. So keyboard is used for the user to give the data or to enter the data, keyboard is used. And for the computer to display the output, monitor can be used. So you cannot use the mouse to enter the data in the character user interface. Okay. Next, when this user interface is started, a blank screen appears with a line for the user to type the commands. There are no images or graphics on the screen. So in this character user interface, when it opens, you can see only a blank screen, black color blank screen you can see. No colored images or pictures or graphics will be seen on the screen. Okay, so only you can type the commands using the keyboard. Okay, no images or graphics will be shown in the character user interface. Okay, CUI or character user interface normally does not support pointing devices like mouse. So you cannot use pointing devices like mouse in a character user interface. MS-DOS and Windows command prompt are examples of character user interface. So MS-DOS and command prompt, these are the examples that uses character user interface. Okay. So in this picture you can see the command prompt, right? So you can see a blank screen right here. So you cannot use the mouse, only you can use the keyboard to type the commands. Okay. So this is how the character user interface window appears. This is the CUI of Windows command prompt. Okay. The next type is graphical user interface or GUI. So this graphical user interface uses graphical components for interaction. So you can see some colored images and graphics on the computer screen. Okay, this is GUI. These graphical components usually comprise of windows, icons, menus and pointers. So you can see colored windows, icons, menus and pointers on the screen. So that you can say as WIMP, windows, icons, menus and pointers. Input is accepted using devices such as keyboard and mouse. Okay, so here you can enter the input data using keyboard and mouse. But do you remember in character user interface whether you can use mouse? No, you can use only the keyboard to enter the data in character user interface. But in graphical user interface, you can use both the keyboard to enter the data and mouse to point the data. Okay, so you can use both keyboard and mouse to enter the data. Okay. Most of the modern computers use graphical user interface. Nowadays, most of the computers we use graphical user interface. So an example is given Windows 7. So the best example is Windows 7. So now at present we are using the graphical user interface in our computers. Okay. See, this is the graphical user interface of a Windows 7 operating system. Here you can see colored images, right? Colored images you can see and graphics you can see here, right? So also it consists of windows, icons, menus and pointers. So this is graphical user interface of Windows 7 operating system. Now let's see about Windows graphical user interface. So in Windows operating system, what is the type of interface used? Graphical user interface, right? Okay, Windows is the most common operating system used nowadays. It is a graphical user interface based operating system. So Windows is based on GUI interface. Okay. Windows 7 opens all documents and applications in individual rectangular boxes called window. See, in Windows 7 and all window versions, you can see when you open a document, you can see a rectangular box that is called window. So this operating system is named as Windows. Okay. See, this is how the window appears in a Windows 7 operating system. So in Windows 7 operating system, when you open the window, you can see all these components. So let's see the components of Windows in a Windows 7 operating system. Don't confuse the window and Windows 7. So Windows 7 is the name of the operating system. Okay, the rectangular box that appears in that operating system is called Windows. Okay, so this is the window. This is the rectangular box that appears in that system. So this you say as Windows, not Windows OS. Okay, that is the operating system, and this is the window. The rectangular box is the window. So here you can see address bar at the top. See the location of the particular file. Okay, so this is the address bar. Next you can see the frame and two vertical scroll bars. So to move up and down you can see the vertical scroll bars and status bar at the bottom, and three buttons you can see at the right corner, that is close button, maximize button and minimize button. Okay. So Okay, dear children, in today's class we have seen about the types of user interface, right? In detail we have seen about character user interface, example, and graphical user interface with examples we have seen. So let's see about the components of graphical user interface in detail in the next class. Okay, dear children, I hope you understood the concept very well, and if you have any doubts in this topic, you can please contact me. Okay, dear children, have a great day. Thank you.